Hello folks, welcome back to the Edupedia world, and I am Abhinay Gupta. Today again we'll continue with the topic, the meeting of board and its power. So in the previous class we have already discussed the provisions of section 180, right? And the section 180 talks about the restrictions on the power of the board, right? And if we talk about the power of the board, there's one more section that deals with the power of the board, that is section 179. Right, you have various powers defined in section 179 and also the powers that needs to be exercised only in the board meeting, that is specifically covered in section 179 subsection 3. And there are four basic powers for which you require a special resolution as per section 180, right? In the flow or in the sequence as you go about with the clause number, section 180 subsection 1 clause A, right? It talks about the sell, lease or otherwise dispose of the whole or substantially the whole of the undertaking of the company, right? You remember we have discussed everything regarding the undertaking, the 20%, the greater than 20% of the net worth and stuff. We have understood what net worth is, right? What do we mean by substantially whole? Then clause B talks about the investment actually. It talks about to invest the compensation received by the company as a result of any merger or amalgamation, right? Then we had clause C talking about the borrowings, right? So it says borrow money if money already borrowed together with money to be borrowed will exceed the aggregate of the paid up share capital and free reserves, right? That means it restricts your borrowing, and we have seen that the majority questions that have been asked in the examination have been based on clause C, 180 subsection 1 clause C, right? That deals with borrowing. So you have to check the amount of loan you have already borrowed, either at a secured loan, unsecured loan and stuff, but remember that would exclude the temporary loans, right? But any temporary loan which is taken for financing your capital expenditure will be considered as long-term loan or will be considered borrowing for this purpose, right? And then we had to check the limit, that is paid up share capital and free reserves. So we know what reserves are. Free reserves, the reserves that are available for distribution of dividend only, right? In the last clause of section 180 that we read about was to remit or give time for the repayment of any debt due by the director, right? So that was all about section 180. We had four sections over there, and for all these four powers of the board, they will have to get an approval from the shareholders by a special resolution, right? And then we had discussed the various questions that have been asked in the previous examination, and we have seen that yes, indeed it is an important topic. We have been asked questions frequently in the examination, and what are the details that we need to keep in mind has already been discussed in the previous lecture, right? So today we'll move ahead to the next section, that is section 181, contribution to the charitable trust. A very small section with just very few provisions inside that you need to keep in mind, but still you have been asked several questions in your examination, so you need to be careful with this small section as well. So if you want to make any contribution to a charitable trust, you could make a contribution only to the bona fide funds, right? And this would be made by deciding amongst all the directors in the board meeting, right? So board of directors, they can decide and they can contribute to the charitable trust or any other bona fide charitable fund if they deem fit, right? But in case their contribution exceeds 5% of the average net profit of the 3 preceding financial years, right? And we mean over here 3 immediately preceding financial years, right? So you take out an average of the 3 preceding financial year, sum it up, divide by 3, the average that you get, right, multiplied by 5%, the amount that you get, that would be the limit specified for the board of directors. That would be the limit of the powers in the hands of board. So if the board wants to contribute any fund, contribute any sum to any charitable fund, they could do it only up to 5% of the average net profit of the preceding 3 financial years, right? Now what if they want to go beyond, right? So in any case, if the board wants to go beyond and contribute more fund, they would have to take a prior permission in the general meeting, right? They'll have to call a meeting of the shareholders and take a permission for the same. But remember, you do not need a special resolution. So even if a majority of shareholders agree to invest more fund or to contribute more fund, then the board of directors can proceed ahead with the procedures, right? and this provision would be applicable on all types of companies. It is applicable on private companies, public companies, any kind of companies. Right, so if they want to make any contribution, it is a discretionary power, and the power lies with the hands of board up to the limit of 5%. Beyond that, they would have to require an ordinary resolution from the shareholders in the general meeting. Right, so that is all about the provisions of this section. So I hope you have understood the very small and very simple provision of section 181. Right, but now we'll discuss some of the questions that have been asked in your past examinations. Right, so if you can see on the screen, you have already been asked question on this topic for around 7 times, right, and there may be some more that I may have missed out, right, but these are specific questions that have been asked. So if you talk about your recent years, okay, you have not been asked any question in the recent year, but still if you have been asked questions, that means that this section is also an important section, and you could, I mean, the institute is able to frame question on this section, so you never know when you get a question on this section. So it's a small section, please remember it, right, and we'll discuss the questions, and we'll try that the minute details of the section are also clear with you, so that if you get a question on this easy section, you do not miss out on the marks. So the first question that we'll pick up is CA final May 2008 and November 2005, right? So you had same question repeating in your examination, right, and the size of the question actually went up to half a page in your examination. So yeah, that becomes a little scary when you see a long big question, but it was a very simple question, right? So I'll tell you what are the kind of format you get for the questions also. You get a tabular form where you get the details of the paid up share capital, general reserve, credit balance of P&L account, debenture redemption reserve, secured loans, etc. And then you will have been given data for 3 consecutive years, right? And then after that you will also be given the net profit for all the 3 preceding years, right? Why have you been given the net profit? Because in this section, if you see, there are just 2 things required. Actually 1 thing required. You just need the net profit for the 3 preceding financial years, and then you can calculate and get the average, and you need to know what is the limit for your contribution. And if you're crossing that limit, pass an ordinary resolution. If you do not cross the limit, the board resolution would suffice, right? So since the question had given details about the paid up share capitals, general reserve, secured loans, etc., what do you think? What is an inclusion? What is the section that is included in this question? Yes, when we're talking about the paid up share capital, general reserve and secured loan, we understand that we are talking about the borrowing. Section 180, subsection 1, clause C. So again over here also you see you have been asked question on the same topic. While we were discussing that section, we have already discussed that we have had a lot number of questions in the examination, right? So you were given the data, and the questions talks about deciding the amount of borrowings that can be made from the financial institution, and also the amount of contribution that can be made to the charitable fund, right? So when you start, you break your answer in 3 parts, remember. So first you write the provision of the section, then you will write what your question has asked, and then the conclusion. So as per the provision of the section, in the first portion you have been asked about section 180, subsection 1, clause C. So you specify that clause, you will write the detail in brief about what is the requirement, that if you have made some borrowing and you are proposed to make some borrowing, so borrowing already made and proposed to be made should be less than your paid up share capital and free reserve. If it exceeds, you will have to pass a special resolution, right? So you can very well calculate as per the question. Just refer to the 3rd year. You don't need the data of all the 3 years in section 180. You need the data only for the current year. So from the current year, you add up the paid up share capital and general reserve. And remember, you will add up the credit balance of the profit and loss account, because even that is free for distribution as dividend. So just remember, any kind of reserve, any kind of profit that you have available in your hand and that is free for distribution as dividend, that would be included, right? So for this you need a little base about your accountancy subject as well. So you need to understand and analyze, like for example, debenture redemption reserve is not a free reserve, but the credit balance in the profit and loss account is a free reserve, right? So you need to analyze and you need to know what are the various parts of the balance sheet, right, that you will have to include, right? Then you have the limit of the paid up share capital and free reserve, and then you will again check the secured loans that you have already borrowed, and then you will decide the limit, and you specify that yeah, this is the limit, up to this the board resolution will suffice. If you want to borrow beyond this, you will have to pass a special resolution, right? And in the second portion, you'll have to do nothing, just add up the three profits, divide by 3, you get the average, multiply by 5%, you get the limit. So you will mention that yeah, if the director wants to make a contribution to the fund, charitable fund, then they do not need any ordinary resolution or anything. They just need to pass a board resolution up to the limit of 5%. But if they want to make additional contribution, if they want to go beyond the limit of 5%, they will have to pass a ordinary resolution as well, right, in the general meeting of the members. So that is all about this question, and you have been asked the same question twice in the examination. It is very simple question. Try to score full marks over here. So do not miss out on any provision. While you are explaining the provision, while you are writing the sections, write it down. So now you understand why sections become a little more important in your examination. So it is good, it is recommendatory if you can memorize the sections, but even if you don't, you need not be scared. You may still score full marks if you have written all the provisions correctly, right? Then you can also have a different type of a googly question, as you were asked in CA Final May 1995, 2003 and June 2009, right? So the googly that you got was, you have been given the profit of the company, right? You have been given the, you know the percentage, 5%, you have been given an average profit, and then you need to calculate, you need to give the provisions, you need to answer whether you require or not the special resolution. But again, there was a trick in the question. The question talked about contribution to a hospital established exclusively for the benefit of the employee. So remember, over here we will not go about writing all the provisions of section 181, right, because that will not be applicable. It is not a charitable fund. So first, what you need to analyze in the question, when you think that the question belongs to section 181, you need to analyze whether or not you are making contribution to charitable fund. If it is charitable fund, you would attract section 181 and write down the provisions accordingly. But the given question did not attract 181. Right, that was not a contribution, that was not a charitable contribution to the charitable trust. So if you are doing something for the employee, it is an employee welfare expenditure. You are making that expenditure for the welfare of the employee. So for that, you need not check the limits, you need not pass a special resolution. It is a general expenditure of the company, and for the sake, the board of directors can decide up to the amount of expenditure in their board meeting. Right, this is not related to section 181. Understand? Referring to next, CA Final May 1995, you had a very simple, very easy, straightforward question on this section. Right? The question said that the board of directors of a public company, right, in the private sector, having made an average profit of 1 crore during the last 3 previous financial years, right, and they want to make a contribution of 40,000 to a charitable fund. So please advise as per the provisions of Companies Act. So what do you see, that your net profit, your profit was around rupees 1 crore. That was an average net profit of the past 3 financial years, right? And just remember, we are always talking about the net profit. Don't just skip this word net. That you may get a question, again a googly question, that would test you whether you have noticed the word net profit or not. It would give you gross profit and then some deduction or whatever trick may come, right? You have not been asked similar question in the past examinations, but you may get that question. That is also a question that can be framed on this topic, right? So remember, we're talking about net profit of the 3 immediately preceding financial years, right? If there's a gap, we're not considering it. It is 3 immediately preceding financial years, right? So you have the average net profit of 1 crore, and you know that if you want to spend, the director has the limit up to rupees 5 lakh, that is 5% of 1 crore, right? Whereas in the given question, they only want to contribute rupees 40,000. So do they need a special resolution? The answer is no. they could simply pass a board resolution and go ahead with the contribution to the charitable fund. And again in June 2009 you had been asked a similar question by changing the numbers, that is at. Right? So basically you understand that there is three type of questions that can be framed on this section. A very simple, very easy, very small section. Right? You can leave no scope of a mistake in this question, in the provisions of section 181. So you can get question clubbing section 180. Right? That means when you are asked a full-fledged question on section 180, you would be included, they would include a small line that would reflect section 181, and then you will have to write the provision of 181 along with section 180. Right? Second is a googly question, and there you have to analyze whether or not the contribution is a contribution to the charitable fund. If it is not, the provisions will not be attracted. It will be outside the purview of section 181. Right? And the third type of question is the general calculation. You could do it. So remember to carry your calculator when you are going for your law examination as well. You may get numerous questions where you would need to calculate the limit. You may very well do it on your fingertips, in your mind, but having a calculator always adds on to your advantage. It will give you a confidence that yes, whatever you have calculated is correct. Right? So after accounts, after you carry calculator in accountancy examination, SFM examination, don't forget to carry it in your audit and law as well. In audit 2, you may get a question on the standards of accounting standard, where you may need a calculator. Right? So that was all about section 181. Right? And the next section that we'll be covering is section 182, and that is again a little big section as compared to section 181. So we would start it afresh in the next lecture. So until then, stay tuned. This is Abhinay Gupta signing off. Until next class, thank you. Bye-bye.